Morning, guys. Welcome to CBC Colouring Book Club. How are we all this morning? Hi, Kimmy. Thanks for being here, sweetie. Just for something different today, instead of colouring, I'm going to do a paint pour with you all. I absolutely love paint pouring. Absolutely addictive. Not for everyone, but oh my goodness, I love it. So, where do we start? Well, let me see. I can't remember. I did this a few days ago, last week or whatever, last Sunday. Thanks to you guys. Love that. Love that you're doing it. Oh, cool. Yeah, last Sunday after my stream, I said I might watch some paintballs. Well, for the rest of the day, I was addicted to watching paintballs. I can watch them all day long. And I found Deliberately Creative, Stephanie, and she's lovely. And she did a Siamese fighting fish, or a beta fish. So I thought I have to have a go at that. So I followed along with her, and I did. This is done with string art or string, and I did the first fin, I did the next one, and then it all went to poo. So I got rid of it, swiped it all off, started again. Hi, Sue. How's the fur babies? Yeah, Bess has got a bung leg at the moment. She has for a couple of days. I don't know what she's done. So she's a little bit better today, actually. She's putting a bit of weight on it. So hopefully I won't have to take her to the vet. She could have stood on a bee. I don't know what, because there's a lot of bees out there at the moment. So I don't know what she's done. But she seems to be a fair bit. She's moving around a lot more today, and she's putting a bit of weight on it. So fingers crossed that she's okay. And, yeah, she's just walking around now, doing laps, and she's going to grab a toy because she knows that I'm streaming. So hopefully she doesn't hurt herself. Take it easy, dog. You'll put yourself back into square one. Oh, she's walking on it a lot better today. No, I'm not playing. You go and settle down and do your legs better. Otherwise, yeah, and I'm going to have a hard time getting her in the car to take her to the vet anyway. So she's got a toy over here. Take it easy. If you hear a yelp, you'll know, because she's swinging a toy around the room and being silly. Bess, you're going to hurt your legs. Stop. I should put her toys up so she doesn't. Yeah, I don't want her to hurt herself. So if she yelps, don't freak out, because she's being... Bess! I really don't want to take her toys off her, but I might have to, because she's doing circles around the lounge room, and I don't want her to hurt herself. But she's putting a lot more weight on it today. So anyway, so yeah, this turned to poo, so I swiped it all off and started again. And then when I did his body, I had nothing sort of attached to the tail, so I just got a spatula and did a few lines to it and sort of attached it. And this here is a very wide pectoral fin, which should probably come up. So I'll have a go at that again one day. But anyway, that's that one. Oh, thanks, Kimmy. Hi, Green. Cool topic. Yeah, today than colouring. And then on Friday, I decided to do these. Now, I used navy blue, lime, hot pink, yellow, image, and that's with these four here. Paints. I did this one first, and then with the leftover paint, I did this one. So it's all the same coloured paint, the way it was. From this colour here to these. And I even like this one. This was just left over at the end, but I love the greens and all the colours in. And I got cells. Woo-hoo! So I'd have to say that this one here is the best paint pour I think I've ever done. That come up really cool. So that's those. And I'll get them out of the way. And I hope this is not too glary for you all. I'll get rid of these. Now, they take a few days to dry. And then you can put some varnish or something over the top for about 4 weeks or so, I think it is. And then you can put some resin over the top of them. So anyway, so I've got a big garbage bag set up, and I've got it clipped up onto my art display so it doesn't splash everywhere. Fingers crossed, because you end up with paint from eternity. Thanks, Kimmy. Now, for today, I thought I'd start from the start. There's some fantastic artists that their channels are just about paint pouring. Deliberately Creative, which is Stephanie. She's great. She's very good at explaining everything. Also, Rick Cheadle is good to listen to. And Waterfall Acrylics, which is Karen. She's really good. She does cool stuff. And that big one in the center that I showed was inspired by her, watching her. There's a lot. There's so much I could talk about with paint pours, and I don't, you know, like I said, some of the artists, that's their full-time channel, is doing paint pours. But all I can tell you is things that I've learnt, and there's just so much to talk about, really. Where do I start? Now, a lot of people tend to mix up their mixes before they go on because it is a bit time consuming, but as you can see, you know, it's worth it. So I have chosen a few colours, which I'll get out in a minute. I'll get it out now. Some of the equipment you can use, endless. Right, I have a bucket of water, some cloths, gloves. I have a pipette for some water. Make sure you got plenty of cloths, whether they be nappy wipe, baby wipes, whatever. Make sure you got plenty of them. Floetrol, which I looked for a long time ago and couldn't find any in Australia, but Bunnings have it. So if you're in Australia, you go to Bunnings and you can get Floetrol. Now, this can tend to have lumps in it, the Floetrol, and it is also an activator for cells. And just get a bit of stocking and put that over the top. Give it a really good shake before you use it and pour it through the stocking, and it'll stop some of the lumps. Now, my paint pours I showed just before do have a couple of lumps in them, whether it be from the paint or whatever, I'm not sure. So we've always got something to learn from doing this. You can also have a burner. This helps to get bubbles out of the paint. Hi, Shannon. This can help to get the cells activated, and it also helps to get bubbles out of the paint. So one of those as well if you want. Do not use this if you use isopropyl alcohol. Do not burn if you have that, because that is flammable. It's alcohol. So just be careful, because the amount of concoctions that you can use is crazy. Bess, yep, she's feeling better today. A spirit level will help. You must have, it's a pretty good priority to have your canvas level, because it'll ooze off. So it's good to have it level. I haven't been using it, but it is a good idea to have it level. And if you have too much paint on it, you can get pools, and that can cause cracking as well, because the paint underneath will dry, or the paint on top will dry quicker than the paint underneath, and it can cause cracking and a few other problems. So and that's the thing when you're mixing up your paint. Some of the people that I have mentioned, they measure out in either mils or grams, and yeah, I just go by eye, really. But you always, I did 4 paint pours over there because I had so much leftover paint, and I tried to not make up too much, and I still made up too much. So and a pair of tweezers for any hairs or anything like that. A few adjustments that you can make. A couple of spatulas that you can use. Straw, hairdryer, which I'll use today, string, what else? Oh, there's all sorts of stuff. And I've got some clear varnish, which you can put over the top of your paint pour when it's finished. And you can also add it into your concoction. It's gloss, and it can help. I mean, the colour in those ones that I showed you before stayed, which was great. So you learn as you go. And I haven't done paint pour for a couple of years, so it's just so much fun to get back into it. PVA glue. I could go on and on and on. You can use kitchen colanders. I haven't done that. Haven't tried that myself, but that's a lot of fun as well. And then you have your base paint. You can use black. You can use any colour, I suppose, but white is, I think, pretty popular for a base coat, and also black. And while I remember, when you get your canvas, give it a coat of gesso first. Make sure you put a lot of canvases come pre-primed, but give it a coat of gesso before you start, and gesso dries pretty quick anyway. I think that's all. You can, there's lots of equipment you can use. So I've got Floetrol today. I've got gloss, PVA glue, and my paints. And I've got white for the base. I've got Sea Breeze, different paints, house acrylic, cheap paints. Nothing. Don't go buying expensive paints or anything like that. Use leftover paint. Yeah, you can use whatever acrylic paint. People use house paint. I've got Renault Art here. I've got Kaiser. So I've got Sea Breeze, gold, violet, and orange. And you can get some pretty weird combination colours together, and it's amazing what you'll come up with as well. There is a possibility that it can turn to mud, but hopefully that doesn't happen. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lots of sticks, Icy-Pole sticks. God, my dad had a big bag of them. I had them for years, and I thought, I don't need all them, and I got rid of them. And then I wish I hadn't have. So, throwing things out. Yeah, well. I have a baking dish with a oven rack you can use, but also you can use a Lazy Susan, which I'll use today, and Waterfall Acrylics has a great idea. You put a shower cap over the top of it so it protects. And then if you like skins, acrylic skins, some people use them in art. You'll get plenty of skins over time, and you just peel it off the plastic, and you can use the skins or send them to someone that uses skin. Abby will be here later. No worries, darling. So I think I've covered the very basics of it. I've got my gloves. I can use them later, and trust me, you'll need them. Especially, apparently, someone said if you get Floetrol on your hands, get it off as soon as you can. Wash it off. And I mean, the different concoctions that you can use is, full on. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paint. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Depends on how big your canvas is and how much you use. And you get the plastic, like the clear drinking cups. They're too big for what I'm going to do today. And if you use a big cup, which I have, one of these, and you can get the bigger ones, of course. But if you only have a small canvas and only use a small amount, and you tip it up and do a dirty pour, it's going to take forever for that paint to come down. So depending on what size canvas you use, the cups. So for today, I'm using these, which used to have candles in them. Don't throw any of this out, your sticks and all that sort of stuff. These, you just wash them. Can't even tell I've used it, really. There's hardly any paint on it. Just wash it, take it outside in the bucket, and I wash it outside, clean them all off. So don't throw them out, or your gloves or anything, because you can use them several times. So keep that in mind. You don't have to throw stuff out, which is good. All right, let's get started. Have I bored you all to tears already? And believe me, like, the channels on here are, hi, Belinda. I'm here just lurking. God love you. You know, their channels are full on. And I'll give the Floetrol a really good shake. Their channels are full on, just acrylic paint pours, and they know what they're talking about. They do measurements. There's another one, I can't remember her name. But she gets pretty scientific with it, with the maths and everything. She's really good. She's not a chemist, she's a pharmacist. I'm trying to think of her name. But she's really good. She gets right into the nitty-gritty of it as well, weighing it all. Get a set of kitchen scales and use the kitchen scales if you really want to get technical about it and weigh it up. Now, usually, if you watch most of the streamers, it's 1 part paint to 2 parts pouring medium. Now, your pouring medium can be your PVA glue, your Floetrol, whatever else. And if it's a bit thick, we'll get into that as I go. But you just add water and get the right consistency. If it's too thick, it won't flow properly. And there's so many different types. There's dirty paint pour, which you put the paint one on top of the other and then upend it onto the canvas. You can do swipes, which you get a spatula and you do a swipe over. Then you can get like Rick Cheadle with his purple dart alert, and he just uses a dart and just scratches through and does patterns in the paint. There's all sorts of things you can There's Dutch pour, which I'm not too sure what Dutch pour is. I haven't got into that. There's heaps. But you need to give the Floetrol a really good shake. And I just got a litre, which was $24.20, I think, at Bunnings. And then you can get a 4 litre, which is about $56. $56. And I thought, I'll get the small one because some people, they do commissions and they sell them and everything. Rick Cheadle, he gets old furniture, tables, chairs, you name it, and does paint pours on them and fixes them up and then sells them. That's what he does. He's a full-time artist. So it just goes on and on and on. But I'll try and think of as much as I can as I go. Yeah, I haven't got my gloves on at the moment. Now, Floetrol is good for activating cells. Now, I'm going to use, I just go by eye, but it's 1 part paint to 2 parts. But then, depending on who you watch, so that's going to be plenty. Now, with the one that I did, that I showed, the blue one with the cells in it, I didn't put Floetrol in them, but I'm going to put a bit in each one. Hopefully we'll get a lot of cells today. Some people like a lot of cells, some people don't. I love them. I think they look awesome. So I'm just going to put a bit of Floetrol in each one. And I'm just going to wing it like I always do. I'm not going to weigh it and I'm not going to get into all that. But I'm just putting a bit of Floetrol in each one. So hopefully we get a lot of cells. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Let's wipe that off. This is not for everyone. It can be quite messy, believe me, very messy. But it's so much fun because you never know what you're going to come up with. Now, which one will I use for the white? I think I'll use... Yeah, I think I'll use this one. And I don't want to make up too much So who knows, this could be a complete and utter fail. So for that one, I'm just using a big bottle of poster paint. For the base, some people use house paint. So I'm just going to use that for the base. And I'll put some PVA glue in there as well. And by the time you make the mixture up, I'll probably end up finding I'll end up with too much. And that's how I end up with doing. And I haven't got any other canvases gessoed. And if you leave your paint sitting here for too long, it can start to get a skin on top of it. And also, that's my white. I've got some Liquitex gloss in here as well, which I decided to do on Friday. So you can make up a real concoction. And I put a bit of gloss, and I think it helped to keep the colour. Because I think apparently Floetrol tends to make it a little bit dull. But once you put your gloss over it, it comes back up. So I'm trying not to make up too much. This is the orange. Have I got you all intrigued? If anyone hasn't heard of paint pours before, let me know in comments. It'd be interesting to know if you've never seen this done before. And when I process the video, today's stream, I'll put a few links in. No, lid's not. Go on. Why won't the lid go on properly? There we go. Blue. Hi, Kelly. Kelly, oh, paint pool's fun. Yep. No, I won't use that one. Yeah, they certainly are. Now, this gold is quite thick, actually. That's heaps. Hopefully this turns out and I'll be ecstatic. I'm not putting too much in. So remember, general streamers tend to use 1 part paint to 2 parts pouring medium. But the more streamers you watch, the more you'll learn. I'm just adding some gloss into them just because I want to try and keep the colour. Whether it works or not that way, I don't know. But that's what I'm doing. But it's just fun mixing up concoctions of this and that and everything else. Now, there's PVA glue in there, a bit of gloss in them, a bit of Floetrol. Yeah, these are small. I probably could have even used smaller cups. But we'll see how we go. Mix it gently. You don't want bubbles in there if you can help it. So don't like stir it, but don't fold it over and get lots of air in there if you can help it. And I give it a bit of a tap too to try and get the air out. But that's what you can use your Juvalaki thingy bingy burner can help get rid of the bubbles as well. A couple of the pours that I showed you first when I started streaming, they've got a couple of lumps in them. I don't know whether it's the paint. Shouldn't be from the Floetrol because I've got the stocking over the top. But yeah, I ended up with a couple of lumps anyway. But oh well. It's not like I sell mine or anything. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Now that's too thick. Sorry if I'm not zoomed right in, but that's too thick. So I just go by, just squirt some water in there. And thin it out a bit. That looks a bit better. I always wanted to try paint pours. Glad you're doing it. Oh, Kimmy, they are awesome. They're so much fun. And you get all excited when you're first, and it's like, oh, look at that, the colours in it. And then you try not to lose it. There's bits and pieces you get on there and you don't want to lose it. And then the paint that does pour off, it makes cool stuff as well. And it's like, well, that's no good keeping that. But it'd probably make a good skin. But, yeah, when it pours off, and it's like, oh, I want to keep that too. But you do lose. Sometimes you have something nice on there, and because you haven't covered the canvas or you need to move it around, you can lose a bit of it. Now that's still too thick. It needs to be creamy, but it needs to fall in on itself. So the mixing up is the most time-consuming part of it. It doesn't look like there's any lumps or anything in there. See, that one's a bit... And if you get one paint, you try and get them the same consistency, and different paints, different colours are different. They're all different. But if you have a thicker paint, it will run over the top, or the thinner paint will run with the thicker paint and run over the top of it. So try and get them the same consistency. That's starting to... It still needs a little bit more water. So like I said, this is the most time-consuming part, is making the mixes up. But I'm doing the whole thing with you if you haven't seen it before. Just so you get an idea what you're in for. And the mess hasn't started yet. And hi for everyone that's watching. Thank you for being here today. If you're just lurking, or if you're in chat, or if you want to come in, say hello. Quite welcome. And it's still a little bit too thick. It's just dripping off. It's not pouring off. But it's better to add a bit at a time than too much. If it ends up too thin, you can add a bit more paint or a bit more PVA glue or whatever you're using as a pouring medium to help it along a bit. But I think I'll stick with that. I think that'll do. When I tip the cup, it seems quite fluid, so... That one's not a real good example. So hopefully the colours I've chosen today are nice. You've got to mix it in really well so you don't get that white streak from the PVA or whatever else you've got in there. You want to make sure. And I don't want to make up too much because I've got 2 canvases there, and I'm hoping, I think, I've made up just enough. So I've still got a couple of streaks in there. You need to get rid of them. I don't want all this leftover paint. Some people make up the people that do it all the time, make up big mixtures in like the sauce bottles and leave it in that, and then they're pre-mixed. I can't think of her name, the one that got quite scientific. She, my God, she made up these huge batches of pouring mediums. So she's ready to go. So that's too thick. And don't listen to me because I'm no expert on paint pours. I'm just going by what I've learned, different channels. And, of course, like everything else, people have different opinions about what they use, how they use it, and all that sort of stuff as well. Still too thick. Still needs a little bit more water. Now I'm hoping I haven't left the gold too thick. Because like I said, if you've got, they're not the same consistency, you'll get one paint running over the top of the others. You don't really want that. And make sure you get your sides as well. That looks pretty fluid when I tip it up, so I'm going to leave it. It's just not pouring. When I get this, it's supposed to pour back in on itself. Yeah, that's not too bad, actually. That's falling in on itself. It's not leaving a mound on top. It's not too bad. It'll do. Next. Like I said, is different. Some are thinner than others or thicker than others. This probably won't need too much water by the look of it. But if you go off and you leave your paint sitting here, make sure you haven't got a skin on top. And you might have to just add a bit more water. I think there's a bit of Floetrol on the outside of that. And I did hear someone say, if you've got Floetrol on your hands, get it off as soon as you can. And I mean, they are chemicals, the concoctions that you make up with this, unbelievable. There's also GAC 800 or GAC 800, which is apparently the same thing as PVA glue, pretty much, but it's expensive. And that's a pouring medium, or you can actually get straight out pouring mediums from Liquitex and a few other company brands that you can use. They make, is it Deco Art? One of them, Arteza, I think. They make a pouring medium. But some of them are expensive, and you don't need to be spending a fortune. It's just cheap acrylic paint. You like your folk art and all that sort of stuff. Nothing expensive. Bullet, just use paint and water, straight out paint. PVA glue, Elmer's school glue. You can use that as well. Just a little bit more water. But like I said, mixing it up is the most time-consuming part of it all. But I thought I'd do it all with you today just so you see what's happening. and I can try and run through things that I've learnt from watching. Make sure you get your sides. Just a bit more water. But there's so many different effects. I mean, I haven't used the house colander. I haven't the strainer. I haven't tried that one. The string is fun. You're going to make sure there's plenty of paint on your string. I think a couple of times there I didn't have enough paint on my string when I did it. It might be just a little bit too thick, but when I run it up the side of the cup, it seems... Anyway, I'll stick with that. That purple is super pretty. We'll see how we go. Hopefully it's not too thick. Orange and the white to go, guys. How much fun is that, just sitting here watching me mix paint? But I want to... I mean, you can go and watch all the other channels as well, you know, and they know what they're doing. You know, they get quite technical with weighing it and all that sort of stuff. I'm not. I'm just winging it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I just clean her up and do another one over the top. You don't lose your canvas or anything. You can reuse it if you don't like what you've done. And if you don't like it when it's still wet, you can scrape all the paint off. I did that the other day. I was like, what a waste of paint. But I didn't waste that much. Or you can scoop it back in the centre and just go again, and you might come up with something else. Or it could turn to mud. Just a bit more water. I think they could all do with a bit more water, to be honest. I usually end up making too much, and I don't want to make too much. I'm hoping I've got enough to do this canvas. I think so. I've only got the 2 canvases primed, so let's see what happens. So it should pour off the stick. I mean, it's falling in on itself, which is good, but I don't know, it's just not coming off the stick right. None of them are. Now, I think with this, I'm going to need more white. That is not enough. That's not going to be enough for the base coat. And just as well they are cheap paints, because I wouldn't be doing it otherwise. Yeah, I know I'm going to need a bit of water for this one. Have you all left me? Hi, Rochelle. Be right back. No worries. Heather, you are getting blown away like we are on our block today. The wind is terrible here. It's not too bad here, but it's a bit cool. I've got the fire going and it's a bit breezy out there, but no, it's not blowing its head off. Blindy's still here. I've left it out. I haven't zoomed in so you can see what I'm actually doing. Now that's really, I don't know if you can see that because it's on white, but there's a couple of lumps in that. So is it this paint that's lumpy? You can smash it up against the side of the cup. And it needs quite a bit more water. But yeah, some places are supposed to get quite a bit of rain this week. Not windy here either. No, it's not bad here. Just a little bit breezy. Bring those air to the surface. Hopefully there's no lumps in here, but a bit of Floetrol on the side there I need to get off. I use the bucket of water to put water in with the pipette, and while the water's clean, and then when I finish with the cups I just throw them in the bucket of water, take it outside, give it a wash. A bit more water. See what I mean? It is time consuming at the start. The preparation. Now I've got a big garbage bag, and I've got it clipped to the art display, and I've got a bit of overhang here so I can use it as an apron. I've got baking dish on the side here with the garbage bag drooped over the top of it, and then I'm going to get my baby wipe container and put that on the other side. So I've got a well in here, so when I get the Lazy Susan, as you can see, this is what it does, and you'll end up with paint from here to eternity. So I'm putting it politely. So I'm going to make a little well, so when I spin it around, hopefully I won't end up with paint. When I did it on Friday, I had a big drop sheet on the carpet on the floor, and I had this garbage bag, and you can see it didn't go that far, but depending on how fluid your paint is, it could go everywhere. I quickly watched Waterfall Acrylic this morning, Karen. I watched her do one. It was on the 30th of September, I think, number 275, hashtag 275. Oh, it turned out awesome. Now, I wish you could see that. See how it's pouring off the stick? It's leaving a little, and don't hold it right up here. That's just a little bit. Grab a heap and it pours off, and it might leave a little bit of a mound on top of the paint, or it might just sink straight into itself. So that's something to watch for. They say a creamy consistency, but you don't want it real thick, otherwise it won't flow properly either. We're just about there, guys. They've been sitting there for a little bit, so I'll give them another quick stir. Heaven forbid. I could have pre-mixed, but then they would have been sitting there waiting as well, and I didn't want that. I want them freshly made. And you get to see the process, whether it's a fail or a success. Those bubbles out. All right, another quick stir. Orange. Sea breeze. Gold, which I think was the thickest of all of them, actually. Oh, that looks a bit better. And pebble, which is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I think it's done. Not sure. Oh, yep, it is. It's raining. Okay, let the fun begin. Right. Now, I haven't got my gloves on. I thought this was a brilliant idea that Karen did. She's got a thicker one than I have, but just get a shower cap and put it over the top of your Lazy Susan, which I thought was a brilliant idea. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, you're back just in time, Kimmy. These are sticky. I washed them the other day and they're... One of them's got a pinhole in it too. They don't last long. And I hate wearing these. I washed them. They're inside out actually, but they were still a bit wet last night. So I turned them inside out. Oh, I hope nothing else sticks. I could be in trouble. Oh, I haven't got... I am just going to so I think that could be slightly thinner. I think I found the culprit for lumps too, the bloody white. All right, purple. Orange. Gold. Get out, air bubble. And sea breeze. Oh, that gold's reacting. See, I've got heaps of paint left and I didn't even make a lot. And then, ready for the noise. And I can let that, oh, it looks like I've got a couple of cells coming up already. Let that sit for a second. Oh. Alright. Okay. Oh, cells! Oh! Oh my god. Hi Mona. I was buffering a little bit just to let you know. Oh, okay. Oh. She visits every time. Shara. Hi Mona. Hopefully, oh my god. Alright. Yeah, I might put, the corners are the worst. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, the corners are the worst for getting the paint on to run over. Oh, wow. What else will I use? Bit of gold. It'll help get the paint over the sides. Oh, that's pretty in itself. Alright, now use the excess paint on the sides. Are we ready? Find that bin. Oh, look at that in there. Oh, man. Oh, nice colours. Now, I hope this paint's not too thick, because it's not running very much. A lot of white in there. You should take your time with this too. Bring it back. Now you can get, where's my clean one? Not that one. The other one. You can use a straw or you can use your mouth. I don't want to wreck those cells. Sorry if my head gets in the way. There's not much runoff, really. Oh, the colour down in here is just beautiful. I'll zoom in it, guys. I'm not getting much runoff. So my paint could still be a bit too thick as well. Oh, the gold in that is just really pretty. I'm not getting any runoff. Paint might be a bit too thick. You want to make sure the canvas is covered as well. There's a lot of white cells in there, so it's hard to tell what's canvas and what isn't. Oh, this is so pretty. Sorry guys, I have to give her another spin. Oh, what colour will I use? What I could do, I don't want to lose any of it. What is it thinned with? Water, mainly. PVA glue in there. I've got a bit of gloss, Liquitex gloss in there. I've got a Floetrol, which is a cell activator, and I've also got water, which thins the paint out for you. So, but I probably did leave the paint just a little bit too thick. Hang on, guys. I don't know, is that focused? Oops, sorry. I'm just trying to, I don't know if that's really focused for you guys. Is that trying to focus a bit for you? Thanks, Kitty. Oh, okay. So straight, watered down paint won't do that. You can use just water. You can use just paint and water. You can do that. Some people can use straight up paint, although some of the paints might be a bit too thick. But yeah, you can just use straight up. You could use paint and water. Especially if the paint's too thick, you probably need some water to get that down a bit, thin it out a bit. I've left this paint just a little bit too thick, I think. It's not running off the sides very much at all. Where's my gold? Not running. I did. I left the paint a little bit too thick. So for the next canvas, and just take your time with this. I'm going to have to, I've got nothing on the sides. I've got no runoff. You usually pick the runoff up and you can put it on. But you can, over time, it might run off a little bit more. Well, you can just wait till it dries and then paint the sides yourself. That's so, see, it's so pretty. I don't want to touch it. Oh, Leslie, I made it. Hi, sweetheart. Those colours are gorgeous. Thank you, Shara. It's not really showing up the true on screen. But I really, guys, I just want to get some paint on the sides here because there's just nothing happening. So what I will do is I'll add more water for the paint pour that I do on the next canvas that I've got here. And I'll have enough paint. I've made up a perfect amount of paint, I think, today. I would like a bit more on this. See that there? I want that to run a little bit because there's a bit of a... what I can do. If there's anywhere else. There's just a tad of I can see the canvas poking its ugly head through there. Now, don't hold this in the one spot. Make sure you keep it on the go. Hold it about 8 to 12 inches away or so. It'll help bring the air bubbles to the surface, and it'll also help to activate more cells. But if you hold it in the one spot, yeah, you'll start burning your paint, and you don't want that to happen. And with all the concoctions in there, you'll give off fumes as well. But like I said before at the start of the stream, do not do this if you have isopropyl alcohol in here. And you can use ink as well. Alcohol inks, you can use them as well. There's a lot of white in that. But what you don't want also is thick paint. If the surface dries quicker than underneath, yeah, you get your cracking and other shit happening that you don't want to happen. You don't want that. Ow! Let me set it. That's freaking hot. I put my finger on the edge of it, and I got plastic on too, so that's not real good. All right. Now I can see a couple of spots here where it's quite thin. What colour have I got here? Orange. Ow, that was hot. So if your paint pools up, if this is a bit loose, you just give it a spritz with the back of it, give it a spritz with some water, and it's supposed to tighten it up. Well, I found these canvases a little bit loose, so I did that, and I can't say it made a huge improvement. Yeah, I don't want to touch that corner, that green in there. But anyway, you get the idea of it. Without this dripping, I'm going to take this over and put it on the cups. And hopefully there's looks pretty even with the paint, I think. You can still tilt it around and have a play with it. You can run your finger along, get that paint happening along the edge. I didn't really want to touch that, but get the corners as well. If the paint is running off at all, if you've got any excess, you can use that off the Lazy Susan. I've got a bit there where my thumb is. Alrighty, so there we go. There's a lot of white in that. See how we go. It'll either work or it won't. So far it looks okay. All right, I'll get rid of that. I'll just go and wash my gloves. I'll be back in a sec, guys. Looks awesome sitting on the table. Looks quite good. I love what's on the Lazy Susan laugh out loud. There's a canvas upside down on it. Stuff wearing these gloves, they're driving me up the wall. Oh. All right. Put that to the side for a minute. I am going to add a bit more water because they're too thick, and they've been sitting there for a bit as well. Next one, I'll use up this paint and do a dirty paint pour. We'll see what happens. Because that paint did not run very much. Bess, do you want to go out? Sorry if I'm missing chat, guys, and hello everyone that's come in. If I've missed anyone, oh, that's awesome, Heather. Thank you, Mona. Hope you are well. I really like that spider on the white. It looks cool, Heather. Thank you, Leslie. Oh, I can't wait for you to have a go. It's a lot of fun. I love what's on the list. Great to hear, Mona. Hopefully not too much pain and comfort. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Mona. Yeah. Bess. Got a real lot of purple left. Now I've got two of them. This one that I'm about to use and another canvas. I've had them for so long. This one's got a moo cow on it. I might give that a wipe. Now I don't usually. I guess I can actually. Might be an idea. too thick. I knew they were when I did the first pour. So it's not running off the stick very much. A little bit, but yeah, I knew they were just a little bit too thick. But that's half the fun, is mixing up the paint. And what I'm going to do with this one, I'll get rid of that, and I'm going to use a tray and let that pour off. So I'll clear this off. I'll get rid of that. Sorry if I'm missing chat, guys. It's not moving. Oh, another haircut to do. Oh, Leslie. Yeah, I reckon hairdressers now will be inundated if but infections are on the rise yet again. Oh, so I wish you could see that, because it's pouring back in on itself, which is good. Where's my pipette? Sorry guys, I really do want to get this right now, because the last one wasn't pouring very much. It's not even dripping off the sides by the look of it. I might even still have a bit more paint left after this, heaven forbid. But anyway, that's all the fun of it. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to get rid of this. Oh, see paint on the table. Get rid of that. Now, hopefully I don't get paint. I know I should have gloves on for this one, because this one is messy. Sorry guys. Bit of a drop sheet there. Rightio. Okay. Now I've got Moo Moo in the centre. Should get the spirit level and make sure they're level, so you don't get pools of paint, but it doesn't matter. Okay, what colour will I use first? Now, whatever colour you want on the bottom, you put in last. So, Just thinking, I want the white last because that's going to be the base. I don't know, maybe the aqua. And figure out what I'm going to do with the stick. A bit of purple. Oh, that's going through. That's pouring straight through. It's supposed to sit on top. Oh well. Oh, that's pouring straight through that. It's not sitting on top. I don't know what's going to happen here. And I've still got paint. Oh, it's gone all weird. Can you see what's happening there? Oh, this might turn to mud. Oh, yuck. Oh, it's going to be mud. This is going to be a fail. Chocolate milk, yeah, it looks like an epic fail. Yeah, give it a minute just for the paint to settle. Might be too thin. I dread this. This can be an epic fail. Oh, it's very thin. Oh, look at the cells. Yuck. Got cells, but it's not that bad a colour, I suppose. Doesn't look very level. That's why it's running. It's very thin. I'm going to paint all over my fingers here in a minute. Just give that a minute. That's not very level. No, it's cool. You can see the cells coming up in it, though. It's very runny, though. Very, very thin. Too thin. Some of them you're watching, it's like, oh my god, all that paint, like so much waste. Like, it's a yucky colour. Oh well, it's one of those ones you watch. Not what not to do. This is it's too thin. That's why the paint was pouring through on itself. Gonna lose a lot of that blue. Where's my spatula? Oops. Yuck! I like the blues. That's really pretty. I don't want to lose that there. It seems to be out of focus, guys. I can't get him in focus. Oops. That is just so out of focus. No. I wonder why I can't. autofocus is off. Just doesn't seem to be why aren't you in focus, you silly thing? Well, if I had any cells, I'd wipe them out. Oh, losing all the blue. That's pretty just there. I'm trying to get you guys in focus, and for some reason, it's being horrible. I don't know, I'm on high def. Yeah, it's been horrible today. Got all this paint underneath. Ugh, it's mud. I made the paint. What colour will I use? I think the aqua's to blame. Just using it here so it'll run off. Icky, icky, icky. I don't mind some of the colour in there, but this might be one of those ones that will get done again over the top. Oh, why can't I get... she's just not real focused today. I don't know why, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry, guys. The focus has been really crappy today. Now, I wonder if I've got another canvas there. And the other alternative is you scrape it up and you do it again. Trying to make sure the canvas is covered. You live and learn. I like that colour there too in the corner. Now I can see a lump in there. Never mind. First one looks alright. Now I've got a little bit of paint left. See, this always happens. I'll get rid of this. And I'll quickly find another canvas. I think this one comes pre-gessoed. But anyway, I'll just use up the remainder of the paint. I'll grab my PVA glue and put a bit more of that in. Hopefully it'll thicken it up a little bit. I've run out of the aqua, I think, is to blame. Yeah, see, that gold is really running as well. So I made them too thin. Too thin. Thanks for being patient, guys. I've probably lost half of it by now. Just a little bit of Floetrol. Oh, Buffy, yep. And the fun of all this is cleaning it up afterwards. Where's my stick? I am. Take your time. The first one I did's looking pretty cool, though. I just don't seem, that does just, I don't know about for you guys, but that just doesn't seem very focused. On this, it looks a bit blurry. Oh well, you learn what not to do. That was too thin. So add a little bit more paint. Trying to get rid of it and add more. Don't watch me, watch the experts. It was awesome. Gotta go back to bed. Thanks for your time, Heather. Bye, Rochelle. God love you. Have a lovely sleep, honey. It's a little blurry. I know. I can't fix it. I don't know why. I don't know why I can't. Sorry. See, that's with autofocus on, but hey, it's it cleared it. Now that I've done that, the autofocus on and off. Laugh out loud. Oh, glad someone's laughing. Oh dear. All right, we'll try again. White. Purple. Hopefully the paint won't bloody pour through itself. It's not supposed to do that. Gold. That's better. That's what it's supposed to do. Sit on top. The gold. Yeah, I blame the teal. Although there was actually a couple that were too thin, but that's better. So I added a bit more PVA glue and just a little bit more paint. And now it's sitting on top the way it's supposed to. That's better. Maybe this is a bit too thin. Oh, it looks very thin. trying to get rid of it and making more. But that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to sit on top of each other. This orange is quite it's quite thin as it is. Yeah, I don't trust the orange. It's thin. What else have I got? A bit more gold. And a little bit of white, I suppose. Don't want too much white in this one. And I've still got bloody paint left over. Here we go again. Oh, and you can just get the stick or something if you want. You don't have to. And just put a couple of crosses or something through it. Just mix it a bit. Probably get mud again. Let's see what happens. Just give it a minute. We'll see what happens. Yeah, but just give it a minute for the paint to go down. Pretty up there, the purple and the blue. Make sure you lift it up and don't drag it. Oh, it's still quite runny. Alrighty. And just give it a minute. Yeah, see, that's not quite level because the paint keeps running this corner. I've got a few cells coming up, so you just leave it for a minute or two, and you can see them start to come through. Just give it a minute. Hi, Charlene. Thanks for being here. Watching all the hit and misses. Yeah, see, it's running. Maybe that's better. It's got a few cells coming up and a bit of colour in it. I'm just going to help the corners along a bit here. Yes, I have a cigarette because I'm just putting the orange right on the edge. It'll run off. But it'll help the corners. Oh, and I put a big streak through it. Well done. Where's the gold? I have maybe 20 canvas. I got them at a sale. Now I know what I can do with them. Absolutely. Oh, grab them, girl. Give them a coat of gesso. Don't forget the gesso first. And absolutely 20 canvases. Oh. There's a couple of videos I watched comparing Australian Floetrol to American Floetrol. To be honest with you, I don't think there's any real difference. Maybe even a bit of white. This is basically, it'll hopefully run off. I'm just doing it for the edges, really. And I've used up all my paint. Yay! Alrighty. There's a lot of purple, so I thought I'd add the other colours in there. This paint is still a bit too thin. When you're tilting it up, it shouldn't be quite this runny. Oh, so that's quite pretty. Just take your time with it. Tilt it and then tilt it back. That's quite pretty, actually. It's quite pretty. Yeah, I agree, Kelly. She's going to have fun. All different sizes, cool. I know it looks so much fun to do. It is a lot of fun. When this video is processing, I'll put some links into a couple of people that do this, and you can go and watch them as well. And I do suggest the more you watch, the better. There's a lot of purple there. Is there any gold left? There's not much of anything left. I've used them all. Ah, get off! And you can just get the edge, put some patterns through there. And even if you don't like that colour, it can run off and just cover the edges of your canvas. It does look pretty, actually. I'll let it sit there for a minute. Doesn't look like I'm going to get... I did have a few cells there, but... And the thicker your paint is, apparently the less cells you will get as well. And that's just to help this run off a little bit over the edge. Sorry about the scraping noise. And you get some really pretty colours and you don't want to lose them. But Unfortunately, that just happens. I've got a bit of white, plenty of white left. All right, let's go. There's a lot of paint on here. Too much, actually. You can get a bit of cardboard at an angle and put that, like a bit of cardboard, and just to save a bit of paint from running off. That's coming up quite pretty, actually. I'll just run a finger along the edge there. Yep, that is pretty. That's really pretty. There's just quite a bit of paint on there. See, you get some really nice stuff and don't want to lose the colour. Like it. So now I'm glad I put that bit of orange on the corner because, yep, it's come up nice. I'm happy with this one. And your bucket of water comes in very handy. But I do suggest you wear gloves. Oh, I'm happy with that one. Oh, that's beautiful. All right, where's my cloth? Thanks, guys. Glad you like it. I like this one. This one's really pretty. All right. Yeah, you can. Don't know if I'll get any cells. There might be too much paint on here. But, yeah, see, bubble just come up then. Oh, I really like this one. I think I'm going to run out of butane. Oh, really happy with that one. Now you can get like a pin or maybe even the edge of your trowel if you're really careful, if you think you've got a bubble in there. Sometimes it's handy to have tweezers and get the tweezers if you've got any lumps and get them out. And just touch up the corners if you think there's any areas where there's no paint running. I'm just using whatever's going. There we go. Look out, 2 hours, 2 minutes to spare. Fig jam. So all the cups, I just throw them into the water, take them outside. I've got plenty of white left. I can probably use that just to coat a couple of canvases or something for next time. Yeah, it is very pretty. without tilting it up. There we go. Yep. 2 successes and 1 fail. I'll go and get the other one, see what's happening with that one. So there's my other one. It's got a lot of white on it. But that's the first one. Trying to get the glare off it for you guys to see it. That's quite effective. It's quite pretty. And the other one, it's turned to smoke, but it's got some cells. It's got a few cells in it, and it's pretty stark on camera. But it reminds me of it. You can do ceramic tiles too, and that's what this one reminds me of. But yeah, you can do ceramic tiles, furniture, tables, chairs. You can use it on Yupo paper, all sorts of stuff. There's a bit of a lump in there, so that's still running. But anyway, so there we go. But that one I'm real happy with. But if you don't like it, just clean it up, scrape it up straight away if you don't like it, or you can wait till it dries and do over the top of it. Now, apparently, let this dry for a few days. Don't touch it. Put it somewhere where you're not going to get dust and pet hair and everything all in it. And you can wait till it dries and put gloss on the top of it. Or you can wait a few weeks. I think it's at least 4 weeks for it to cure. And then you can put resin over the top of it. And when they're varnished and resined and that, they look amazing because they're nice and shiny. What was I going to say? Yep, you can do that. Oh, I can't remember. I'll get off screen and stream and I'll think of more stuff. May the odds be ever in your favour. Laugh out loud. But this one I'm real happy with. It's really pretty. It's good. There's a few cells in there, just a few. Not many, because I think the paint is quite... there's a fair bit of paint still on there. So hopefully it dries okay and it doesn't crack, because I really like this one. So there you go, guys. That's paint pouring. Next week we'll probably be back to colouring, but just something a little different for us today. I'm addicted. I could watch the video streams all day long. Absolutely love it. It's like, oh, look at that one. Oh, look at that one. Oh, I had to do that one. It's just, I'm hopeless. The hours go by so quick. Thank you for being here today, guys, and thank you for being patient and everything. I hope I inspired you to go and do some paint pouring, especially if you love fractals and you love colours like this. And you never know what you'll come up with. I put a bit of orange there just for the runoff, just to help it go over the sides. And I quite like it, the way it's turned out. So there you go. Thanks for being here, everyone. Charlene, Belinda, Kelly, Mona, Kimmy, and Abby didn't make it, I don't think. Thank you for making it today, Leslie. No Kenny today. I hope she's okay, or she's just not interested in this. Thank you, Shara. And everyone else that's lurking, watching, and everything else. Take care of yourselves. You're welcome, Kelly. No problem. Yep, as this processes, I will put in a few links to different channels that do paint pouring. I'm definitely going to try it. Oh, absolutely. But I do suggest you watch as many, or if you wait a couple of hours till this video processes and the description's in there, thanks to a couple of people. But the ones that I can tell you is Deliberately Creative, which is Stephanie. She's really cool. Waterfall Acrylics, which is Karen. She's really cool. Rick Cheadle. And another one to watch is Olga Sobi, or Sobby, and she's really good to watch as well. So that's just 1, 2, 3. That's 4 that I can suggest that I'll put in the description. And once you go over to them, you can watch them. And I wish I could remember that other lady's name because she's really cool as well. So and Gina DeLucas is another one. She's good to watch as well. Thanks for streaming, Heather. It was awesome. Oh, Veronica. Your non-disclosure is Veronica. That's right, I think. I hope I got that right. Thank you for being here. All right, guys. Take care of yourselves. And until next week, don't do anything I wouldn't do. See you guys.